Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Last week I posted my favorite tarot spread or set of cards that I typically pull, and Jen reminded me that I didn't do a video for it. So sometimes I am called to use two different decks. So I'm using an Oracle card deck and my tarot deck here, and I'm just going to do my little pre reading routine that I normally do as well. So, and I'll explain it in a future video as well. So, I put on my magic necklace or my psychic necklace. I am sitting in my typical spot. I've already meditated today for a couple minutes. Actually, that's a lie. I didn't meditate, but I did look out the window at squirrels for like 20 minutes, and that really put me in a calm focus. So that's how I meditated. And so yeah, what does the universe want everyone who's watching to know? And I typically don't do this part on camera, but I put my hand on my heart and I say, my intention is to bring peace to myself and to everyone who is watching this, and clarity. And then I touch my third eye and I bring my attention there, and I imagine that I'm sitting there in like a little comfy chair and I'm looking down through it, and then I start. So I'm going to pick up this deck and shuffle it around. Remember, shuffling doesn't just mix the cards around, it's to put your energy on the card. So I'm just going to, can't really see what my hands are doing there. I am not the best shuffler. Okay, so shuffling also clears your mind. So you don't want to be focusing so hard on what you want to know. You just want to let your mind wander. You can look out the window. I've got a beautiful view on the other side of my window. And when I feel called, I'm going to stop. And I'm just cutting the deck a couple times. Doesn't have to be perfect. Whatever wants to come will come through. So, cut it 3 times. Card for the past, present, future. I don't flip them over yet because I don't want that to influence the next deck that I'm going to use. So I have 4 more cards to pull, and I'm using the Effortless Tarot deck that I made. And I am shuffling. What does the universe want everyone who's watching to know? This is just to show you what I typically do. So if you have a fancier way of shuffling, that's fine. I'm going to shuffle here. Sorry you can't see what I'm doing. I thought it would be best for you to see my face. Okay. So we have past, present, future, you, other people, the obstacle, and the outcome. All right, so one at a time, I'm going to flip the cards over and read them for you. So the first card that represents the past, near past, going into the present, is the Stay Optimistic card. We see a mermaid who is on a rock, and she's looking out at the land. So this is someone who is wishing, she is hoping, she feels like a fish out of water. It makes me feel like the other day Ashley commented that she wishes she was a mermaid. That's what it reminds me of. How it relates to this is this card wants you all to not quit. It wants you to stay open and keep your hopes up, and just know that you have to just keep going in order to get the results that you want. So that's the past going into the present. The card for the present is the Yes card. Ooh, I love this. And this is another mermaid. This mermaid is underwater. She's surrounded by fish. She's petting a fish. She's got really long hair. She looks happy. She's like, I trust. I know. And this says your intuition is correct. Take action accordingly. So if you had a question in mind, or if you were wondering about something before you watch this video, this is your sign. So this card represents the present right now. So it's a yes. Love that. Now, I would typically give more detail, but this is just to show you guys. So the card that represents the future. Now, remember, there's a million different potential futures, but this is a good potential if you follow those two cards. Divine magic. So we see a mermaid on a rock, and she's asking a fairy. And what this makes me think of is fairies who grant wishes. So this is like have the courage to grant wishes. But this card says that extra magical energy surround your situation right now, so expect miracles. And this also makes me think of, hi, whoever's watching. I can't see someone's watching. This also makes me think of the video that I posted about the subconscious mind. Like, we get what we expect. So if you expect an amazing outcome, that's what you're going to get. So we did past, present, future. Now, in this Doreen Virtue deck, the card that I pull next like has extra magical significance because of this divine magic card. So this card that I pull next represents you. And it is the Justice card. And this is representing law, truth, cause, and effect. Justice can also represent like the wheel of luck or the wheel of karma turning. So it's like your luck changing for the better. It's like a new, taking a fork in the road. And this could also represent someone in your life that you have to convince. It's another yes card. It could represent someone who is a Libra astrological sign. That is someone who is born between September 23rd and October 23rd, but justice. So cause and effect. If you do this, you get that. So that is the card that represents you right now. So make sure that you're being truthful. Make sure you're not speeding. You don't want to get a speeding ticket. Now, other people. This next card that I pull represents other people about the situation. And because this is a general reading, take what applies to you and leave the rest. So other people are the Ace of Swords. And we see a hand coming out of the cloud. This often represents things happening out of the blue. And swords are thoughts. So thoughts that could come to you from out of the blue, from other people, maybe telepathy, maybe clairaudience, maybe mediumship. But this card has to do with swords also has to do with logic, reason, and awareness. So it can also represent, I'm reading the card, a logical person who is either a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius. Those are air signs in astrology. And this is another yes card, something that happens out of the blue. So this is about other people affecting the situation, affecting your goals, and it looks like they're going to affect it positively. Now, the next card represents the obstacle. What is the obstacle? The obstacle is the Seven of Swords. And we see people that are wearing masks, people that are inauthentic, people that are acting like friends, but really they're not. People who are inauthentic. And I want you to know that in numerology, 7 can also represent like a fighting or a struggle, something that you can overcome, but you will overcome it. So this is the obstacle right now. Could be betrayal, could be lying, could be you not being honest with yourself. It could be a selfish person. It could be an Aquarius. That is someone born between February 9th and 18th. And this is the No card. This could also be your fear as well. Hey, Jen. So the obstacle could be your fear. Is your fear lying to you? This could also be, since it's in swords or air, it could be your thoughts. What are you paying attention to? So note how even though the deck I made has definitions on there, I'm being flexible with it because swords are air, and air are things that change, and air is of the mind. So where you focus is what you're going to get. Now, the card that represents the outcome, now remember, we are reading a potential, so this is a potential outcome. This is the moon. Okay, so the outcome is the moon. And this is intuition. It could be wishing. It could be anxiety, could be illusion, and it could be someone or something that you long for, or someone or something that you want, and that's the outcome. This also says no, and it's a Pisces or someone who's born between February 19th and March 20th. Now, I pulled 7 cards. I'm going to count the no's. We have 2 no's, and we have 1, 2, 2 yeses from the tarot deck, and another yes from the oracle card. So I'd say this is overall a yes. If you had a yes or no question in mind before you watch this, your answer is a yes. And now I'm just going to pull a clarifying card. So my typical spread is 7 cards, but I sometimes pull a clarifying card like, okay, show me how to overcome that obstacle. And I'm going to shuffle, and then when I feel called, I'm going to pull a card. How to overcome the betrayal or the illusion or the anxiety is music. And we see a beautiful mermaid fairy sitting on the moon. Look, okay, here's the moon here and here's the moon here. Synchronicity. This is a fairy playing a harp, and it says music for manifesting. So manifesting is just making something happen or reaching a goal. And it says to manifest rapidly, think of your desire while you chant, hum, sing, or play music. So music definitely has the potential to change your energy, to change your state, to change your brain waves, especially if you listen to Hertz music, HZ. There's different frequencies for different things. For example, I think 499. Anyway, if you look up Hertz frequencies on YouTube, you can find all different ones. You can find binaural beats. But yeah, that is an example of a typical spread I would do for someone on Purple Ocean. I typically do this for my blind psychic readings on Etsy. Although sometimes I feel called to pick up a book and do a clairomancy or bibliomancy reading for them. So it's like a surprise reading. But yeah, and then when I'm done, I say I send all their energy back to them. I'm pulling cords. I do the zip up, throw it away. And then I would imagine a sun above my head with my name on it. And then I would imagine, it's hard for me to imagine it while I'm talking. I would imagine it, all of my beautiful golden glowing energy coming back to this sun with this like amazing magnet. And then I would imagine all this energy going through the top of my head and like flowing out my body, flowing out my eyes, out my mouth, out my ears, out my fingers, out my toes, and then like overflowing out of my head. And then I would just take a deep breath and shuffle my cards and be done. And if I felt any lingering, like, oh, what are they going to think of this? Or like that, then I would go outside and go for a walk and just like do other things to clear my energy, maybe sage. Of course, I would take off my psychic necklace, and but I like to leave this is my space where I do most of my readings, but I do them all over the house. Sometimes I do them outside, but when you're learning how to do this stuff, I recommend that you pick one space and stick with it, because that tells your brain like, hey, I'm in this special space. Oh, I would also touch my solar plexus to bring my consciousness back down into my body and like wiggle my fingers and toes and go drink some water as well. Hey, Caroline. I just did like the example of my favorite 7-card pool or 7-card spread that I typically do for all of my readings. And so yeah, this will be available for you all to watch anytime when I'm done, so you didn't miss anything. This was just a surprise live. I didn't feel like doing a pre-recorded video, but I used 2 different decks, and I also did a little example of very quick example of what I do before each reading, what I do after. It's very quick. Explanations for it are a little long, but like, as you know, as you learn and as you go through it, it's just like getting your body into that routine, ritual, or habit that tells your brain, okay, we're about to do a reading now, so focus and tune in. So that's just a little example. Thank you for watching, and I will pop back in later. Let me know if you have any other questions about anything. If you need clarity about like what did you do here, if you have anything about any questions about that spread or anything else.